In the underworld of the Mexican drug trade, most betrayals end with bullets. But this story ends in silence. Not with blood, not with a body, just a man who vanished after robbing one of the most violent cartels in history and getting away with it. This is the story of Eduardo El Contador Mendez, the accountant who stole over $200 million from the Sinaloa Cartel and disappeared forever. Let's rewind to 2006. At the time, Eduardo was nothing more than a mid-level financial advisor in Guadalajara. Smart, quiet, and always dressed like a banker. But what nobody knew was that Eduardo had a cousin working deep inside the Sinaloa Cartel's money laundering network. One night over drinks, that cousin made a joke. "You're wasting your talent with legit clients. You should be cooking real numbers." It wasn't a joke for long. By 2008, Eduardo was laundering money for some of the biggest names in Mexico's drug world. But unlike most accountants, he wasn't just counting cash. He was building systems, shell companies, offshore accounts, crypto transfers before crypto was even popular. He became known as El Contador, the accountant, and he never flashed wealth. No Rolex, no Ferrari. He lived modestly. Quiet house, no wife, no parties. That's what made him so valuable and so dangerous. Here's where it gets crazy. By 2012, Eduardo had full access to at least 5 different cartel accounts, some holding over $50 million each. He handled properties in Panama, crypto wallets in Estonia, and gold assets in Dubai. He was trusted, too trusted. Then one day he vanished. No warning, no note, just gone. At first, the cartel thought it was a kidnapping, but when they checked the accounts, panic set in. Over $200 million was missing. Not moved, not frozen, erased. The shell companies were dissolved. The assets were liquidated. And Eduardo's passport had last been scanned in Uruguay, but never left the airport. That's when they realized this wasn't an accident. It was a heist. The Sinaloa Cartel launched an internal manhunt like never before. They tortured people who had worked with him. They even assassinated his cousin, the one who brought him in. Still, nothing. But Eduardo had planned this for years. He'd quietly created fake identities across multiple countries. He learned to speak Portuguese, Russian, and Arabic. He took flying lessons. He never used the same phone twice. And most importantly, he studied cartel psychology. He knew they'd never believe he could be that smart. That's why they never saw it coming. One DEA official later said, Eduardo Mendez didn't just disappear, he deleted himself. But some believe he's still alive. In 2015, a Colombian journalist claimed she met a man in the Maldives who spoke fluent Spanish with a Mexican accent and paid for everything in untraceable cryptocurrency. He wore gloves, never showed his face in photos. But when asked what he did, he smiled and said, "I used to count money. Now I count sunsets." The woman later received a mysterious USB drive in the mail. It contained one folder. Inside, scans of 5 different passports and one final image, Eduardo's face, wearing a Hawaiian shirt, sipping coffee on a boat. No location data, no message, just that photo. Some say it was fake. Some say he's already dead. Others believe he's alive, working for a rival syndicate, helping them hide money in plain sight. But one thing is certain, no one in cartel history has ever stolen that much and lived to tell the tale. Eduardo didn't use violence. He didn't have an army. He didn't need guns. He used a calculator. And the scariest part? The cartel never got their money back. It was the perfect crime.